Welcome everyone to Belinda's Country Living. Good afternoon and evening to all my YouTube family and friends. Today we will be making a plum pie. Now I got these plums back when I went to the food pantry hall. They gave several plums. And so I decided to do a plum pie. You don't really hear much about plum pies as much as you would hear about fruit pies, such as peach and apple. So I kind of had a real hard time finding a recipe for the plum pie, but I had an old cookbook, and it's called the Double Day Cookbook. And believe it or not, that recipe is in this old cookbook. Oh, it's probably dated way back. I got a lot of cookbooks, church cookbooks, and I couldn't find a recipe for it. But this one was back in 1975. So what we're going to need, you're going to need a double pie crust. And I have already made the pie crust. I have a video on how to make a pie crust, but I tried a new recipe on the pie crust made with oil, so I've already got that done. So you're going to need roughly around 12 plums, or a quart of plums, and you want to cut them up to save time with the video. I've already prepped everything, so I've got 12 plums. You want to take the seed out of the middle of the plum, and you want to quarter your plums. To that, we are going to add 3/4 cup of sugar, and you just want to put that right on top of these plums. And this will depend on how sweet your plums are, because some plums can be sweet, some could be a little tarty. So into that, we're going to need a 1/4 cup of flour. Go ahead and put that on top of these plums. Everything's going right in. You're going to need a 4 teaspoons of salt, a 4 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a 4 teaspoons of nutmeg. Sprinkle all that in. I had that all measured out. You're also going to need a 1/4 teaspoon of lemon juice. Just like that. This is really a simple pie to make. Let me get a spatula. And we're going to mix this all together. Incorporate that really good. Make sure your plums are firm. Now these plums here were just a little bit ripe, but I think it's still going to do fine. Just mix that, coat them plums very well. Keep a coating, as you can see. Okay, we got that incorporated pretty good. Now these plums are going to make their own juices. You gotta love that cinnamon smell and the nutmeg. Okay, that's all incorporated well. I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm using a 9-inch pie I use glass, and this is pie shell. Already got it in this pie pan. So what we're going to do now is just dump that in this pie shell. And it's an unbaked pie shell. And don't forget to have your oven preheated to 375. And this pie is going to bake for around 50 minutes. And smooth the top out, because we got a top crust that's going on. Ooh, this smells good. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day today. It's really nice here in Indiana. No rain so far. Okay, so we got that all evenly, as you can see. Now, we're going to put the top crust on. And I hope I can get this crust on, the top crust, without it falling apart. Now, I used parchment paper to roll out my dough, because if you use parchment paper, it's a lot easier. It usually will not stick to the parchment paper like it does wax paper. And let's just lift it over just like that. And it should peel right off. Oh yeah, and it did. Now we are going to flute the edges of the pie, just tuck it under. Now if this falls apart, don't worry about it. We can always patch just tuck it all under. Get too big of a pieces, just cut it off. Tuck that under. We're going to flute this here in just a second. Hope y'all can see what I'm doing. And to be honest with you, I have never had a plum pie. How's my oven going off? Telling me it is preheated. But this pie crust is made with oil. And, yeah. And I thought I would try it. But back to, I have never had plum pie. I love plums. And if I do purchase them, I usually get maybe 3 or 4 for myself. I just like to eat them fresh. Now I've got all this tucked in. Yep, we made a mess, and that's okay. So now we're going to flute this. And all I do is take my fingers, 2 fingers here, and just press out and in. Make a real beautiful edge on the pie. And this also helps in the baking. When the juices come out of the pie, it kind of serves the purposes of catching the juices so it won't spill over in your oven. Just like that. And this is the first time I've made a pie crust of oil, using vegetable oil. So we'll see how this turns out. I'll give you my opinion on that. I've always did the old-fashioned way, flour and lard or shortening. So, there you have it. Beautiful. Doesn't have to be perfect. Homemade pies are never really perfect. And I like to put little slits in the top of the pie. Maybe 4 slits. And I just use a knife. Just like that. Let me get rid of this. Clean your mess up as you go, and it's not as bad. So the pie is ready to go in the oven. Now, I am going to cover the edge of my pie crust so the pie crust edges doesn't burn. And I'm going to use aluminum foil. And I'm going to set that right on top of there. As you can see, right around. And we are going to, I'm going to turn this, thought I could turn that upside down. Let me see if I can get another pie plate. Probably not. So I'm going to just eyeball it. I should have done this before. And I'm just going to cut around with, hopefully it won't tear. And cut the edge of the pie all the way around the aluminum foil. Then I'll use scissors to cut that out. I don't have a pie shield, so that's why I'm doing this. Oh, I'm sure there's an easier way to do it, but just like that. I know they got pie shields that you can buy, silicone or whatever. I just don't have any. So I'm doing it this way. Now you just take and lay this on the pie, just like that, and tuck it in. This is going to protect the edge of the pie. And then maybe the last 10 minutes of this baking, then I will take the shield off. So, there you have it. The pie is ready to go into the oven. 375 degrees for 50 minutes. And you want to put this in the middle rack. So when the pie is done, I will get back with you. Okay, the pie is done, and I've got it out of the oven, and it's been resting now for about 25 minutes. I'm hoping maybe I'll be able to cut this and let you see how it turned out. I'm going to bend you down here. Look how beautiful that is. So I'm going to cut into it. Let me get a little saucer here. see how we do here. The plate is still a little warm. Maybe too hot to do a taste test, but the crust, oh my goodness, it is just cutting wonderful. The pie smells absolutely scrumptious. It's still a little bit runny, but I think that's because the pie is still warm. I just did. Taste that. I'm gonna move this up, this over. But I think it's because the pie is still warm and it hasn't had enough time to set, to thicken up. Yeah, it's just, you could see it's way too too hot. Let's try it again. Yeah, it just hasn't set up yet. Like I said, I have not had plum pie before. So this is new to me. But I love plums. So look at that. I'll tilt you back up here. But the pie looks absolutely beautiful. Just hasn't had time to set up. Still hot. But I am going to taste this. This is part of the crust. And I have to say, that oil crust is really good. I may just have to keep that for one of my favorite recipes for pie crust. You can see it's still steaming at that. You can smell the cinnamon, the nutmeg. I didn't think plums had a smell to them. I love to eat them fresh though. Wow, that's hot. But in my opinion, wow, that crust is really good. This almost tastes like a cherry pie. Ooh, I really love it. You don't see very many plum pies talked about. It's always other fruit pies but yeah, I really like it. So you're all gonna have to try it. And I'm gonna be making a peach cobbler. I love cobbler. I'm gonna make a peach cobbler, and I'm going to be making this crust for my cobbler. I like the top and the bottom crust. So that way you'll be able to watch the video on me doing this oil crust. It's really good. Whoa. Hot. I'm trying to not make my videos so long. I know I've read a lot of other people's comments where people were leaving in their comments that the videos that most people make are way too long. But sometimes you can't help it. If you want to know exactly how to make something, and if we walk you through it step by step, it does take a while. So please don't forget to like, give me thumbs up, and subscribe, and share my videos. That is what keeps my channel growing. So, until the next time, I hope you all enjoy. Make this pie. It is really, really good.